Travis Wayne Goodsell. You're going to have to compete with the landscapers. Or I'm going to have to compete with the landscapers. The sign that I was telling you guys about on the 22nd, with another one on the 21st, the Jewish holiday. Of how I was trying to point out that this was a death sign day. Well, there's more to the death sign day. This is when the Lyriad meteor showers fall to the earth. The meteors from Lyriad. The constellation Lyra is a musical instrument which has later been called a harp. It's been called a harp by others. I can't wait. This is a moment of time that I have to do something to let you know about this. And this is serious because this is also coming up very, very shortly. So I'm trying to get it out there for you. It's just bad timing with the landscapers who are shooting rocks at my window. Anyway. If they only started at the back rather than the front. Okay, so the history of the lyre is the lyre of Orpheus. It was made by Hermes in the Greek mythology from a tortoise shell. It was given to Apollo, the god Apollo, not the Battlestar Galactica Captain Apollo. As a bargain, it was said to be the first lyre ever produced. It was able to have such great power as to animate inanimate objects, such as nature. It was with Jason and the Argonauts, as it protected them from the dangerous sirens who were tempting them with their songs. Just hilarious. And so, as one of the Greek myths goes, Orpheus married Eurydice. I'm butchering the Greek, I'm sure. She's a nymph. While fleeing from an attack by Aristeus, she stepped on a snake. The snake bit her. She died. Where have we heard about snakes and women before? And death? Huh. To reclaim her, Orpheus went to the underworld to reclaim her and used the music from his lyre to charm Hades. Hades relented and let Orpheus bring Eurydice back on the condition that he never once look back until he exits the underworld. Does that sound familiar to a biblical story of a spouse who looks back during Armageddon? Huh. Yes, Sodom. Lot. And it's his wife, though, that looks back, not Lot. That is interesting. let's see, where would we leave off? And so, yes, Orpheus looked back, and thus Eurydice was condemned to the underworld forever. No eternal marriage. Orpheus spent the rest of his life playing his lyre and rejecting the many marriage offers by women. Oh, to be so lucky. Let's see, there are sacrifice to Dionysus. There's some more in here that I had found that I wanted to get out to you. Three stones with spears. Yeah, the connection with King Arthur. King Arthur had this same type of musical instrument. King Arthur, as I went over the weekend, probably yesterday, is another symbol of the restoring latter-day Moses of the kingdom of David. And so, yes, King David's harp as well is associated with it. And so we have direct connection with the latter-day mythology, the latter-day prophecy, latter-day scripture, with a sign occurring during the time I've already identified as a sign in the heavens of a death day, a death period. It seems to be a 3-day event. So the 21st, 22nd, and into the 23rd. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is bigger than I initially was noticing. So this is a huge sign in the heavens that we're witnessing here on this. And also, coming up on the May 4th, it takes that long because I had to zoom in, way in, on my stellarium to see this, to confirm that Mercury was going behind the sun rather than in front of the sun, as we would see it from Earth. And he goes behind the sun. Mercury is eclipsed by the sun on the 4th of May. Now this is after Putin's big celebration of conquering America, the restoring of Labor Day, Victory Day for Russia, on the 1st, which is the founding of the Illuminati, which I've gone over in my summary video. So this is the 4th, and again I was noticing the sign on that day as well, because Trump I've already identified as Mercury, just like I identified Russell M. Nelson as Mars, just as I recognize the latter-day Moses as Jupiter. These are easy to find when they correspond with the signs in the heavens and the events on Earth. And if you are confused as a Mormon, shame on you. Aren't you studying your scriptures? Haven't you read the Joseph Smith translation of Revelation chapter 12? There's a significant change. And it's part of your baptismal covenant to look for the signs of the coming of the Christ. And notice I didn't say second coming. I went over that previously. I've been going over it. And so, Trump gets eclipsed at the end of May. And I may have already covered that one way back when, as I was pointing out that you guys will probably forget about it when the time gets closer. And the time is closer. I remembered about it. But, we got some big stuff coming still. Even though we don't immediately recognize them from the Bible as the indicator of a sign in the heaven in the last days, like Revelation tells us, there's still signs that are occurring symbolic of the scriptural prophecies. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you and tell you, be careful this week. Be careful. I don't know how it's going to happen, but apparently coronavirus is not the physical attack that I thought may have been the one, but it looks like it is actual preparation to weaken America for a physical attack, a death involving resurrection from the dead, as the myths link the harp to. So be careful, guys. Don't be fooling around. Also, oh, that's right. Venus, is that on the 28th? Yeah, that's on the 28th. Venus is going to be the brightest for the year of 2020 on the 28th, right after the death signs. So there may be hope for you Mormons after all, but don't take it for granted. You have to do your part. You can't just sit back and say, I'm going to let it what is that phrase Christians use that Mormons tried to use? Let God and let go. No, you can't do that. You've got to do your part. You can't just have faith. You can't just act on it with action works. You have to fulfill it with completed works. Faith without fruit is dead. So, please, no more deaths.